Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Nursing Matters, the podcast where we talk about everything nursing, the good, the bad, and the did that just really happen? I'm your host, Christina, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. You know, whether you're listening to this on your commute, during your lunch break, or while you're pretending to meal prep. Hey, I don't judge. You are in the right place. This is the podcast for nurses who want real talk about their careers, no fluff, no corporate speak, just honest conversation about what it's really like out there in the healthcare world. Now, before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to the RN Network community. We're over 200,000 strong on LinkedIn, and if you're not connected with us yet, what are you waiting on? Head on over to LinkedIn, search for the RN Network, and join the conversation, because here's the thing. Nursing can feel isolating, especially when you're dealing with tough workplace situations, career transitions, or just trying to figure out your next move. But you don't have to do it alone. Speaking of not doing it alone, today's episode is one you're going to want to share with that nurse friend who just got a new job offer and is absolutely panicking about how to tell their current manager. We've all been there, right? So here's what we're covering today. First up, we're diving into nursing news from this week, and trust me, there's some stuff we need to talk about. Then our main topic, how to leave your current position like a rock star. But yes, you can get another job offer without burning bridges, destroying relationships, or having an anxiety attack in the parking lot before your resignation meeting. Finally, in our third segment, The Recruiter's Truth, I'm pulling back the curtain on something hiring managers do that most nurses have no idea about. Spoiler alert, it involves what happens to your application before a human being ever sees it. All right, let's get into it. Before we jump into nursing news, let me tell you about our sponsor, Fig Scrubs. Look, I'm sure if you've been in healthcare for any time at all, you already know that these are the most comfortable professional scrubs, and what a huge difference that can make in how you feel during those long 12-hour shifts. Figs offers premium scrubs that actually fit well, look sharp, and hold up through countless washes. Head on over to figs.rnnet.org because you deserve scrubs that work as hard as you do. That's figs.rnnet.org. I have 4 dogs. 2 of them are seniors with ongoing medical needs. And for years, I've spent thousands of dollars annually on vet visits and prescriptions. Honestly, the stress of just getting them to the vet has been overwhelming over the years. Then I received a Dutch membership for a Christmas gift this year, and to be honest, it's been a game changer. With Dutch, I complete vet appointments from my home, right from my phone or computer. My dogs are calm, I'm not stressed, they're not stressed, and for just $11 a month, I get unlimited vet visits. Dutch is also my pharmacy. They send my pets' medications directly to my door. It's affordable, it's convenient, and it's removed so much stress for caring for my senior dogs. Learn more and sign up today at dutch.rnnet.org. That's dutch.rnnet.org. Isn't it time to take the stress out of taking your pets to the vet? And isn't it time to save money? Yes, it is. That's dutch.rnnet.org. All right, let's talk about what's happening in the nursing world this week. And you know what? I'm actually excited about today's news roundup because we've got some genuinely positive stories to share. Let's celebrate what's going right in nursing for a change, right? So first up, some amazing news that dropped on January 15th from the American Association of Nurse Practitioners and U.S. News & World Report. For the 3rd consecutive year, nurse practitioners have been ranked as the #1 job in America. Not just in healthcare, not just in STEM, the #1 job overall in the country. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Nurse practitioners are the #1 best job, #1 best healthcare job, and #1 best STEM job for 2026, 3 years running. Now, this ranking isn't just a popularity contest. U.S. News and World Report evaluated hundreds of occupations across factors like job market health, growth potential, wage potential, employment rates, job safety and stability, and work-life balance. And nurse practitioners came out on top in every single category. The median salary for an NP is $129,210 annually, and there are currently over 461,000 licensed nurse practitioners working across the U.S. AANP President Dr. Valerie Fuller said something that really resonated with me. And she said, nurse practitioners continue to lead the nation not only in excellence and impact, but now for the third year running as the top job in America. Across diverse healthcare settings, NPs are improving access, advancing health outcomes, and shaping the future of healthcare. And here's what I really love about this. This recognition comes at the same time as the Gallup poll showing nurses as the most trusted profession for the 24th consecutive year. So you're not just seen as the best job, you're also the most trusted. That's super powerful, y'all. If you're an RN thinking about going back to school, or you're a nursing student trying to figure out your path, this is a really good sign that investing in advanced practice nursing education really will pay off, literally and figuratively. Okay, next up, and this is a big one. Providence Health System announced in early January that they're committing more than $600 million in merit and markup adjustments for staff in 2026. Let me give you some context on how huge this is. Providence operates 51 hospitals, 1,014 clinics, and a whole range of health and social services across 7 states. They employ 125,000 caregivers, and they just said, we're investing $600 million more in our people. According to Becker's Hospital Review, this investment includes merit increases and market rate adjustments, and it's part of Providence's strategic overview to improve compensation and retention. This is one of the largest healthcare wage investments announced so far in 2026. Now, I just want to be clear, Providence isn't alone in this. We're seeing health systems across the country raising wages for nurses and healthcare workers. Just in the last few months, hospitals from California to New York announced double-digit percentage pay increases, sign-on bonuses, and improved benefits packages. So why? You're probably asking. It's because the market is really truly demanding it. Healthcare organizations are finally realizing that if they want to recruit and retain qualified nurses, they have to compete on compensation. And that's good news for you all. So here's another win for nursing. On January 12th, the American Nurses Association announced that Modern Healthcare has recognized them as one of the best in the business of 2025. This is an honor awarded to only 50 organizations nationwide, and the ANA is one of only 2 professional associations across the entire country to receive this recognition. This matters because it shows that nursing has powerful, effective organizational leadership advocating for you at the highest levels. The ANA represents more than 5 million registered nurses, and this recognition validates their work in legislative advocacy, policy development, educational services, and establishing professional standards. Whether you're an ANA member or not, having a strong national nursing organization matters for all of you. It means nurses have a seat at the table when healthcare policy is being decided. It means you have leverage when fighting for safer working conditions, better staffing ratios, and fair compensation. So now let's shift on over to talk about the future of nursing. In November 2025, the American Nurses Foundation announced something really exciting: 3 $10,000 microgrants for nurse-led research on AI and innovation in nursing. The deadline to apply is February 17th, 2026, so if you're listening to this and you're interested, there is still time. These grants are funded through a partnership with Hippocratic AI, and here's what they're looking for: nurse-led teams who can explore this connection between AI and nursing and develop new solutions to issues impacting nursing using AI technology. Amy McCarthy, the chief nursing officer at Hippocratic AI, said something important. The future of healthcare innovation must be shaped by nurses, who are the clinicians that best understand the realities of patient care. And that's the key, right? We don't want AI being developed by tech companies for nurses without nurses being actively involved in the process. We need nurse-led innovation. We need nurses at the table saying, here's what we actually need. Here's what would actually help us provide better patient care. So this is especially targeted at early career nurses, which I think is brilliant. Getting young nurses involved in innovation and technology early in their careers positions them, and by extension, everyone, to shape how healthcare technology evolves. Speaking of technology, let's talk about what's coming. According to Deloitte's Life Sciences Outlook survey, which gathered insights from 280 top healthcare executives, 2026 is going to be a pivotal year for nursing practice evolution. So here's the numbers. 78% of healthcare executives expect AI to drive major operational changes, potentially streamlining nursing workflows and reducing administrative burden. That's huge. And 48% say digital transformation is a big priority, which means more AI tools for predictive diagnostics, virtual care, and yes, even robots helping nurses out. Now, before everyone panics about being replaced by a robot that never needs coffee breaks, here's the reality. Only 22% of organizations have actually figured out how to use AI effectively. So what does that mean for you? It means you're going to see a gradual tech integration, which gives nurses time to influence how these tools fit into clinical settings. There's also a 33% increase in connected care focus. That's up 15 percentage points from 2025. This signals that nurses will have enhanced roles in virtual care delivery and remote patient management. Here's my take on all of this. Technology can either be something that's done to you or something that can help shape the industry. The nursing profession needs to be actively involved in determining how AI and digital tools are implemented. You're the ones at the bedside. We know what works and what doesn't. We need to make sure these innovations actually help nurses provide better care and not just help hospitals cut costs. So finally, let's talk about something that's critically important, and that's nurse well-being. The American Nurses Foundation announced late last year that they're expanding their free nurse well-being building peer and leadership support program into rural and long-term care settings. 5 health systems received 10,000 mini grants to implement this program, which is funded by a massive $3.1 million grant from the United Health Foundation. The program focuses on reducing nurse burnout, creating a shared language to discuss mental health, and building healthier workplace cultures. Greg Easton, the executive director of the American Nurses Foundation, said something that really hit home. We recognize the quiet strength and relentless dedication of nurses working in rural and long-term care settings, often with limited support and immense emotional strain. These mini grants represent more than just a funding program. It's a lifeline. The program uses something called the Stress First Aid Model, which was originally developed for high-risk professions and has been adapted specifically for nurses. It emphasizes peer support and leadership engagement to help nurses recover from stress reactions and building long-term resilience. And here's what's really important. These 5 health systems started their work in July and are scheduled to share their findings in December 2026. This means we'll have actual data on what works to support nurse well-being in some of the most challenging healthcare settings. All right, so that's your nursing news roundup. And I have to say, it feels good to share positive stories. Nurse practitioners being recognized as the best job in America, major health systems investing hundreds of millions of dollars in nurse compensation, innovation grants. It's all good news. Now, let's talk about something that gives you control over your own career trajectory, and that's how to leave your current position like a rock star. Okay, so you did it. You updated your resume, you networked, you interviewed, and you got the offer. Congratulations. Seriously, it's huge. It's such an accomplishment. You should be super excited. But now you're terrified because you have to actually tell your current employer you're leaving. And if you're anything like most nurses I talk to, you're probably catastrophizing right now. What if they hate me? What if they're mad? What if they make my last 2 weeks absolutely miserable? What if I need a reference from them someday? So, best advice right now, just take a breath, because here's what I'm going to tell you. You can absolutely leave your current position with your dignity intact, your relationships preserved, and your reputation as a rock star fully established. But you have to be strategic about it. So before you even schedule that meeting with your manager, get crystal clear on why you're leaving. Is it the commute, the pay, the lack of growth opportunities, a toxic work environment? Whatever it is, you need to know your reasons. But, and this is important, you don't have to share all of your reasons with your employer. In fact, I don't even recommend it. When you resign, keep your explanation brief, professional, and focused on what you're moving toward, not what you're running from. Even if you're leaving because your manager is a nightmare and you're drowning in unsafe staffing levels, your resignation letter does not need to say that. Here's what you should say. I've accepted a position that aligns with my long-term career goals and offers opportunities for professional development in X area. See what I did there? It's true, it's professional, and it doesn't burn any bridges. So when are you going to tell them? Here's the standard rule. 2 weeks notice is professional courtesy, but check your employee handbook because some organizations require more notice, especially if you're in a leadership position. Now, here's what you don't do. You don't tell your work bestie before you tell your manager. I know you're dying to share the news, but trust me on this. Your manager needs to hear it from you first, not through the grapevine. But if they hear it from someone else, that's how you start your resignation off on the wrong foot. Pick a time to meet with your manager that's private and relatively low stress. Monday morning at 7 a.m. when everyone's scrambling, probably not ideal. Friday afternoon when they're trying to get out the door, also not ideal. Tuesday or Wednesday mid-morning after the initial rush, that sounds like a good plan. All right, so here's how this conversation should go, and I want you to practice this because you're probably going to be a little nervous. Request a private meeting. You can say something like, hey, do you have 15 minutes this week? I want to discuss something with you regarding my position. When you sit down, be direct but gracious, and here's a script for you. I wanted to let you know that I've accepted another position and my last day will be X, 2 weeks from now. This wasn't an easy decision because I've really valued something that you valued about the company or working with them. I'm committed to making this transition as smooth as possible. Now, your manager might have one of several reactions to this script. Let's go through what to expect. Reaction number 1, they're supportive and professional. Great. This is the ideal scenario. Thank them and move forward with your transition plan. Or there's reaction number 2. They're upset or disappointed. Now, this can be normal. Let them process their emotions. You can say, I understand this might be difficult and I appreciate everything you've done for me here. I want to make sure I leave things in good shape. Then there's reaction number 3. They try to counteroffer. Oh, this one can be a little tricky. And here's my advice. If you were already planning to leave, a counteroffer is usually just a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. Statistics show that most people who accept counteroffers end up leaving within 6 months to a year anyway. Be polite but firm. I really appreciate that, but I've made my decision and I'm committed to this new opportunity. Reaction number 4, they're going to get hostile or guilt trippy. How could you do this to us? Don't you care about your patients? You're leaving us short-staffed? Listen, this is manipulation and you don't have to accept it. Stay calm, stay professional, and remember, You don't owe your employer your entire career. You can say, I understand this creates a challenge, and I'm committed to helping with the transition in any way I can during my notice period. Okay, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. All right, we're back, and we're talking about leaving your position like a rock star. So you've given your notice. Now what? This is where you cement your reputation as a professional. Here's what rock stars do during their notice period. Number one, they document everything. Create transition documents for your replacement. What are the recurring tasks? Who are the key contacts? What are the quirks of the unit or the role that someone new should know? This is especially important if you're in any kind of leadership or specialty role. Number two, they stay engaged. I know it's tempting to mentally check out as soon as you give notice, but don't. Continue to show up, do your job well, and maintain your professionalism. Your coworkers will remember how you handled your last 2 weeks. I totally promise you. Number three, they're gracious. Thank people. Send a heartfelt email to your team. If they were mentors or colleagues who really supported you, tell them specifically what they meant to you. These relationships matter, and healthcare is surprisingly a small world. Number four, they don't talk trash. Even if you're leaving a terrible situation, resist the urge to tell everyone exactly why you're leaving or to complain about management. It might feel good in the moment, but it will come back to haunt you, and long term, it doesn't feel good. Number five, they tie up loose ends. Finish projects if you can, return equipment, complete any required exit paperwork. Make sure your certifications, licenses, and credentials are all in order for your new position. And number five, the exit interview. Some organizations do exit interviews and some don't. If yours does, this is your opportunity to provide constructive feedback, but again, be professional about it. Focus on systems and processes, not personalities. Instead of saying, my manager was terrible, you might say, I think there could be better communication processes between staff and leadership. And here's a pro tip. If the working conditions were truly unsafe or if there were serious issues, you might want to document those concerns in writing separately from your exit interview, especially if they involve patient safety or regulatory compliance. So before you leave, make sure you have personal contact information for colleagues you want to stay in touch with. Connect on LinkedIn, join professional organizations. Healthcare is a small world, and you never know when your paths might cross again. And please, please don't badmouth your former employer on social media or in professional circles. It's unprofessional, and it can absolutely hurt your career down the line. More importantly, it makes you look less than what you are. So here's the bottom line. Leaving a job is a normal part of career development. You're not abandoning anyone. You're not being disloyal. You're making a decision that's right for your career, your growth, and your life. And you can do that with integrity, professionalism, and grace. Be the nurse who leaves such a positive impression that if a position opens up that's perfect for you down the line, they'd welcome you back with open arms. Be the nurse who your former colleagues speak highly of. Be the rock star. So, new segment this week, it's time for The Recruiter's Truth, where I pull back the curtain and tell you what really happens behind the scenes in the hiring process. Today's truth is about something called applicant tracking systems, or ATS for short, and I'm going to blow your mind just a little bit. Here's what most nurses don't know. When you apply for a job online, there's a very good chance that a human being never actually sees your application. I know, you spent 2 hours perfecting your resume and writing a thoughtful cover letter, and it might get rejected by a robot before a recruiter ever lays eyes on it. Let me explain how this works. Most large healthcare organizations, and increasingly smaller ones too, use applicant tracking systems to manage the flood of applications they receive. These systems use algorithms to scan your resume for specific keywords, qualifications, and formatting. If your resume doesn't match what the system is looking for, it gets automatically rejected or ranked so low that it never makes it to human recruiters. Here's an example. Let's say a hospital is hiring for a critical care nurse position. The ATS might be programmed to look for keywords like ICU, critical care, ventilator management, ACLS, hemodynamic monitoring, and so on. If your resume says you have 5 years of intensive care experience, but you used different terminology, maybe you said intensive care unit instead of ICU, or you didn't specifically mention ACLS, even though you have it, the system might rank you lower than someone who used the exact keywords the system was programmed to find. Frustrating, right? So here's what you need to know to beat the system. Number 1, read the job description carefully and use the same language they use. If they say telemetry unit, use telemetry unit on your resume, not cardiac monitoring unit. If they mention specific certifications, make sure those certifications are clearly listed on your resume. Number 2, keep your resume formatting simple. Those fancy templates with text boxes, graphics, and unusual fonts, yeah, they're beautiful, but the ATS systems can get overwhelmed and don't read them properly. Stick with standard fonts, clear headings, and a straightforward layout. Number 3, use a skills section. List your certifications, technical skills, and key competencies in a dedicated section. This makes it easier for the ATS to identify that you have what they're looking for. Number 4, don't just rely on the online application. If you can, find a way to get your resume directly to a recruiter or hiring manager. Network on LinkedIn, reach out to nurses who work at the organization, attend job fairs. Sometimes the very best way to beat the system is to go around it. Number 5, customize your resume for each position. I know this is time consuming, but it makes a huge difference. You don't have to rewrite the whole thing, but adjust your summary, highlight relevant experience, and incorporate keywords from the job description. Now, here's the recruiter's truth within the truth. Even though these systems can be frustrating, they exist because healthcare organizations are drowning in applications. A single nursing position might get 200 applications, especially if it's virtual. No recruiter has the time to thoroughly review all of them, so the ATS helps narrow down the pool. Does this mean the best candidate always rises to the top? It absolutely does not. Does it mean some amazing nurses get overlooked because they didn't use the right keywords? Yep, it sure does. Is it a perfect system? Not even close. But understanding how it works gives you power. You can make strategic choices about how you present your qualifications to increase your chances of getting past that initial screening. And here's one more insider tip. If you apply for a position and get an automated rejection within hours or even minutes, that was probably the ATS and not a human. Don't take it personally. Revise your resume with better keywords and try again, or find another way to get your application in front of a real person. The hiring process isn't always fair, but knowledge is power, and now you know what's really happening behind that submit application button. Before we wrap up, I want to tell you about today's final sponsor, the RN Network Career Development Workbook. This isn't just any career resource. It's a comprehensive 39-page workbook that will help you create an actual roadmap for your nursing career, no matter what stage you're in. Whether you're a new grad trying to figure out your path, a mid-career nurse looking for your next move, or a seasoned professional considering a major transition, this workbook has you covered. And the best part, it's completely free for members of the RN Network. Head on over to www.rnnet.org to download your free copy today. All right, my friends, we are coming to the end of today's episode, and I hope you're feeling empowered and ready to handle your next career transition like the professional you are. Let's recap what we covered today. We talked about some genuinely good news in nursing. Nurse practitioners being ranked the #1 job in America for the 3rd year running, Providence Health is investing $600 million in staff pay increases, and the ANA is being recognized as one of the best businesses in the country. We also talked about new AI innovation grants for nurse-led research, the digital transformation coming to healthcare that could actually help nurses, and real investment in nurse well-being programs. We deep dove into how to leave your current position like a rock star, from knowing your why to timing your resignation perfectly to handling that 2-week notice period with grace and professionalism. And in The Recruiter's Truth, I pulled back the curtain on applicant tracking systems and gave you the insider's knowledge you need to get your resume past the robots and into human hands. Before you go, I want to remind you about that career development workbook we mentioned. Seriously, if you're thinking about making a move, or even if you're just trying to figure out where you want to be in 5 years, this workbook is going to be invaluable. It's got exercises for self-assessment, goal-setting templates, career pathway exploration, and so much more. Head on over to www.rnnet.org and grab your free copy. And please, if you found value in today's episode, do me a favor. Share it with a nurse friend who needs to hear it. Leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on, and connect with us on LinkedIn at the RN Network Nursing Community. We've got 200,000 nurses plus in our community, and we'd love to have you be a part of the conversation. Remember, your career is yours. You get to decide when it's time to make a change. You get to advocate for yourself. You get to pursue opportunities that align with your goals and your values. And you can do all of that while maintaining your integrity and your reputation. Until next time, this is Christina reminding you that nursing matters, you matter, and your career deserves the same level of care and attention that you give your patients every single day. Take care, be kind to yourself, and I'll catch you on the next episode.